Hi there. This is the 6th episode of Work with the Fear, my series about working with different kinds of fears, about different kinds of stuff. And in this episode, I'm going to talk about the fear of commitment, which is a suggestion made by one of my subscribers, and I'm really happy to do it because I think that it's a problem that many people have, and I think it's a good thing to try to sort this out. And when we talk about fear of commitment, we're not just talking about, committing romantically, but also committing to an idea, to your friends, to your job, to your projects, to anything that requires time and effort and energy. So all of those things that you should be committed to. Commitment. Such a long word. But anyway. So a lot of people feel like they are not very good at committing to people or to places or to certain intellectual truths. And it's a problem, not just for them, but for those around them. So right now we're going to see what this problem is really about. So where does it come from and how can we deal with it? So what can we do about it? Wow, such a heavy card. It's the 9 of Swords. And the 9 of Swords is really the nightmare card. I always understood it as, a kind of reminder that when you are alone in your bed, lying in the darkness, and you have no one else around, you are on your own, and you cannot run away from your problems anymore. And it can happen through dreams. Anything that is suppressed, anything that you try to put away or set aside, anything that you try to get rid of and try not to see in your waking life is going to come back to haunt you at night time. So the 9 of Swords is really about your conscience, I guess. And those who have this problem with the fear of commitment, they should be aware that when they do not commit to a thing or a person or a group or an activity or something that is important to them, somehow, but they choose to ignore this important bond that is between them and the person or the thing. So whenever they do that, it produces a sort of bad karma, I would say. It really creates a bad situation for them, for you, for me, for whoever is in this position of denying their true feelings and not giving the time and the energy to something and the loyalty to something that it would deserve it. So the appropriate way to look at this problem is not by saying that, you should do this or you should do that, and you should do that because it's the right way to do things. It's not about right or wrong. It's about suffering inside. It's about carrying this darkness inside that's eating you up, and your guilty conscience that's really eating away at you. And that's the real issue, not the lack of commitment. The lack of commitment might just be a symptom of some underlying issues. So there is something about yourself that you cannot accept in those situations. And you have to learn to let those in as well. Excuse me. So it's not a very happy-go-lucky reading, I realize that, but it's very important. And it's absolutely vital that we talk about these things, because I know that many people are suffering from this particular issue, and really the advice I think that the tarot is trying to give here is that in order to be whole, to be one, to have integrity, you have to be the same person you are when you are awake, when you are asleep. You should be the same person all the time. And to do that, you have to try and integrate parts of yourself and your being that are unpleasant to deal with. And when you manage to do that, when you are at that point, when you can say that even the unpleasant and not very beautiful parts of yourself are seen by you and by others, if necessary, that's when you can make whole. That's when you can become one person again, someone who can decide what they want. Because a lack of commitment is very often about not being sure what you really want to do. And unless you clarify these things, unless you really take a long, hard look at the things that are troubling you, unless you try to integrate these things into your psyche, you are not going to be able to tell what you really want to do with your life. And if that happens, and that can happen, and it should happen for all of us, then at that point commitment is possible. But until then, there is a lot of work to do. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next episode.